Imagine you wake up one morning and something feels different. The birds outside your window are not just singing, they are watching. A crow lands on a streetlight, tilts its head, and looks directly at a person walking below. A dog does not just wait for commands anymore. It studies the door handle, the keys, the shoes, the routine. An elephant in a distant forest does not simply follow the herd. It remembers where humans build roads, where danger appears, and where safety is disappearing. At first, it looks simple. Animals are just behaving like animals. But what if, suddenly, they became smarter than us, not just a little smarter? Not just better at solving puzzles, but smarter in a way that humans could no longer fully understand. Would they build cities? Would they speak to us? Would they leave us alone? Or would the real surprise be something much stranger? To understand this, we first need to ask what intelligence really means. When humans think about intelligence, we often imagine human things: words, books, technology, math, machines, buildings, plans for the future. But animal intelligence is not always shaped like human intelligence. A crow does not need to write a book to be clever. An octopus does not need to build a school to solve a problem. A wolf does not need a map to understand teamwork, distance, and timing. Animal intelligence can mean memory. It can mean communication. It can mean emotional awareness. It can mean solving a problem with the body, the senses, and the environment. And if animals became smarter than humans, the first mistake we might make is expecting them to act like humans, because they might not. They might become smarter in their own direction. Take crows. A crow is small. It does not look powerful. It does not have hands like ours. It does not have a human voice, but watch what it can do. A crow can observe a problem, test a solution, remember what worked, and change its behavior later. Some crows can use tools. Some can recognize individual human faces. Some can learn from other crows, passing useful information through the group. Now imagine that intelligence growing far beyond where it is today. A smarter crow might not build a skyscraper. It might build something more useful for a crow: hidden food systems, safer nesting networks, warning signals too complex for humans to decode, strategies for avoiding traps, roads, wires, and people. To us, it might look like random birds flying around a city. But to them, the city could become a giant puzzle board. Every roof could be a lookout point. Every trash bin could be a resource. Every human habit could be a pattern. And this is where it gets even more surprising. If animals became smarter than humans, intelligence would not appear in one single form. It would explode into many different forms. An octopus, for example, lives in a completely different world. It has no bones. It moves through water. It can squeeze through tiny spaces. It can change color and texture. It explores the world with arms that seem almost curious on their own. A superintelligent octopus might not care about fire, wheels, or buildings. Its intelligence might become fluid. It might create hiding places, escape routes, and underwater systems that humans could barely notice. It might communicate through color, movement, and touch in ways richer than spoken language. To humans, a wall is a wall. To an octopus, a wall might be a surface, a signal, a doorway, a disguise, or a tool. But that is only the beginning. Think about elephants. Elephants live in social worlds. They remember places. They recognize relationships. They respond to loss, danger, and family bonds in ways that suggest deep emotional intelligence. If elephants became smarter than humans, their intelligence might grow around memory and society. They might not build faster machines. They might build stronger communities. They could remember generations of human behavior. They could avoid dangerous regions with incredible precision. They could teach younger elephants not only where water is, but why certain places matter. A smarter elephant might look slow to us. But maybe that is because its mind is not rushing. Maybe it is holding a map of years, seasons, relationships, and risks, Now think about dolphins. Dolphins already live in a world of sound, movement, and social signals. They do not see the ocean the way we see a room. They sense distance, shape, motion, and life through abilities humans do not naturally have. If dolphins became smarter than us, they might not invent cars or computers. Why would they? Their world has no roads. Their world has currents, depth, echoes, hunting groups, and long-distance communication. A dolphin mind might become brilliant in a way that feels almost invisible to humans, not because it is simple, but because it is built for a world we do not live in. And that brings us to the most important point. If animals became smarter than humans, they might not try to replace us. They might simply stop needing us. Dogs might understand our moods better than we understand theirs. Crows might predict our routines before we notice them. Elephants might avoid us with quiet planning. Dolphins might communicate across oceans in ways we cannot translate. The strange part is this: being smarter does not always mean becoming more human. Humans often measure intelligence by how closely another mind resembles ours. Can it speak like us? Can it count like us? Can it build like us? Can it obey our tests? But animals are not failed humans, they are successful animals. A bee does not need a human brain to navigate. A wolf does not need a written plan to coordinate with a pack. A squirrel does not need a notebook to remember hidden food. Each animal mind is shaped by a different problem. How do I find food? How do I avoid danger? How do I recognize family? How do I survive winter? How do I move through water, forest, sky, or darkness? To understand why, we need to go deeper. Intelligence does not appear for no reason. It grows where life becomes difficult. When food is hard to find, memory matters. When predators are nearby, attention matters. When animals live in groups, emotion and communication matter. When the environment changes, flexibility matters. So if animals became smarter than humans, it might mean their worlds became more demanding than ever, more danger, more competition, more change. More need to adapt, and in that world, intelligence would not be a crown, it would be a survival tool. The real question is not whether animals are smart. The real question is how many forms of intelligence we have failed to notice. Maybe a crow's cleverness is not small, maybe it is simply compact. Maybe an octopus mind is not alien. Maybe it is what intelligence looks like when it grows underwater. Maybe an elephant's memory is not just remembering. Maybe it is a way of carrying the past so the herd can survive the future. And maybe humans are not the only peak of intelligence. Maybe we are one branch, a powerful branch, yes, a loud branch, a tool-making branch. But still only one branch, which brings us back to that morning, the crow on the streetlight. The dog watching your routine. The elephant remembering a path. The dolphin moving through deep water with signals we cannot hear. If animals became smarter than humans, the world might not suddenly become a human world with animals in charge. It might become something stranger. A world where every species understands its own world so deeply that humans finally realize we were never the only thinkers here. The next time you see a bird watching from a roof, a dog staring quietly at your face, or an insect finding its way through a place that looks impossible, do not ask only, is it smart like us? Ask a better question. What kind of intelligence is this? It may not think like you, but it may be thinking in a way that is perfect for its world. Subscribe to Tony Explains Animals to discover how animals think, feel, learn, and survive in ways that may surprise you.